Tell us a little about, I know this project came about in a sort of sideways way. You were working on another film. Tell us a little about the origin of this.
We were going to shoot this other a psychological thriller called Magic Magic that it was actually shot, but later on. And Michael was down in Chile learning Spanish for that movie, and he was there staying with my family for over 3 months, and he was ready to go back to LA because financing was just getting delay. And I proposed him that we would do like this road trip movie really fast in 2 weeks. I had already got the finance. It was not that much money, and I had previously spoken with Gaby, which I had collaborated with in this HBO web series called The Boring Life of Jacqueline, and so all of the elements were there just to go and do it. And this is an experience that I went through like 12 years ago. I actually met a woman that went by that name, Crystal Ferry. She was from San Francisco. I met her at the Wailers concert in Santiago. And I invited her to come along and have mescaline with me and my best friend in the desert. So it's based on a true story. So the story was there, sitting on the desktop of my computer for years.
Was she a dominatrix?
Yes.
Yeah.
She went by the name of Iron Pussy.
No.
That was actually the selling point for me. Can't wait to make it into the film.
Oh my God.
How much improv did you do on this film?
We had a disagreement about this earlier today. Well, the story was there, obviously, and Sebastián knows what he wants, and there was a clear outline, but all the dialogue was improv. Yeah, I mean, Seb called me out earlier today. I guess I admitted at one point that I wrote one of the speeches prior to delivering it, but yeah. I think the one about the noosphere, the one where I'm talking about,
I mean, Gaby really studied so much for the 2012 sort of phenomenon. She read all of these New Age books, and I guess you came up with a speech for
I lifted some stuff from a guy named Daniel Pinchbeck, who I recently met. But yeah, but it was all the dialogue was improv, kind of.
No, I had never worked this way. Have you, Gaby?
I didn't
I
know.
always wondered. I never had the nerve to ask you, but.
Now's the time, Michael. Now's the time.
No, yeah, basically every scene was really, beated out. I mean, in terms of what we would be talking about and what the dynamics were, and there was just no written dialogue to get those ideas across, but it was all there.
I mean, for instance, when they're like in the room and playing the game, like Would You Rather, it was not something that came out after we say action. We previously talked about that. We're like, okay, now we start the scene. You guys are playing the Would You Rather game, and we had previously played that game in the car or something, and Michael came up with Would You Rather, like, eat your parents' dad pubic hair or have like shit coming out of your ear. Just do that one again. That one was really good. So like stuff like that. It's like, yeah, we would plan out scenes like that, and yeah.
Whatever we talked about at the previous night's dinner.
We would be talking about like the next scene.
Yeah. I mean, it just feels like it all flowed very, very naturally. Did you have to do a lot of takes, or was it a lot of?
You know what? More than like a lot of takes, it was really long takes. And that's advice that I give to like people that are shooting with digital. Like when you have no time, because every time you said cut, like just everybody starts checking text messages, or people go to the bathroom, they start gossiping about stuff. The makeup girl wants to do like everybody goes crazy. And like if you just don't ever turn the camera off, it's like people are always like, oh, wait. And you're like, yeah, shut up. Everybody listen, like, just swallow. And everybody's like in this constant tension. They don't feel like they can interrupt that. So you can like just, with digital cameras, you can shoot for an hour and a half, and everybody's like, listen. Yeah, as soon as you said cut, like really, you waste a lot of time on set. So when you don't have time, it's better to never cut. So we would like do wide shots, close-ups, like general shots, all in one take.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how long was the shoot? How long did you shoot?
We shot for like 12 days.
14.
14 days, yeah. And yes, like a lot of takes were like 50 minutes, 40 minutes. The camera would just like keep rolling. And there would be dialogue in between, but little and tense.
There was that one scene we were shooting, the campfire scene,
Yeah.
and where Gabby does her big speech at the end, you know, and we were shooting that scene, we had like 5 pieces of wood for the fire, and the fire was lighting the scene. And I remember being really stressed about that. Like, we're going to run out of wood and not be able to finish this scene.
That's
Can't
how
stop.
indie the movie was.
Didn't we also get in trouble? We also weren't
We
allowed
weren't supposed to have a fire.
Yeah. Like, not only did we have 5 pieces of wood, but we were waiting for the Gestapo to come and shut us down.
So you never backtracked? You never reshot anything?
No reshoots. And we, when you make a movie like this, we just slightly improvise. No, we're doing improvisation, and it's really important that you shoot chronologically, because new stuff comes up every moment. Like, it's really, the movie is taking shape by itself. So you need to give it at least that it's going to be chronological.
Right.
Otherwise, you will be caught with like strange stuff.
Had you ever worked this way before?
I had no, not as much as improvised, like, but I shot this HBO web series. Whoever has HBO Go, it's called The Boring Life of Jacqueline. Gabby and Michael are in the series as well. And
Do you have a few episodes?
and yeah, that was like shot in the same. We had such a little time, such a tiny budget, that we would do like really long takes like this, like just white shots and close up all at once. But we did have screenplays with dialogue, so it was different that way. But
And are those your brothers?
yeah, all those the Silva brothers. Yeah.
Let's take some questions from the audience. Yes, right over here.
Did you always intend the ending to be so ambiguous?
Did everybody hear?
If I always intended to, for the ending to be so ambiguous, actually no. There was another ending that was even more ambiguous than this. This actually is pretty straightforward for me. She just like, I mean, like, what's so ambiguous about it? I mean, honestly, I don't personally feel that it's such an ambiguous ending. It like, she's a little bit embarrassed. She confessed a secret. She learned something. Jamie learned something. He cried for somebody else's pain. And then sort of like, it's not that they have full redemption, but they do have a slight redemption, which it's my kind of style for characters. I never like giving really fully redemption. It's so fake. But yeah, it's not really ambiguous for me. But there was another ending where Michael is taking a leak, right? And he's like taking a leak like this, and then he turns around, and then he sees something, right? And he starts throwing rocks at something, and you believe that it's Gabby that's become like a giant lizard or something. You don't know what it is. And he's like, "Get the fuck away from me!" And he runs and hides into the tent, and then that was the ending.
It was madness.
Yeah, and we shot it where I was literally flying away.
Oh yeah, we tried to make it. Again, like, she would just step in a rock and like,
I always thought,
it was just a really bad idea.
It seemed like a really good idea at the time, and just now I turned to you guys and said, I'm so glad we didn't do that.
No,
actual
yeah, of
ending,
course.
because this ending I think is so
It's
beautiful.
so
you came up with that the morning that we shot it.
Yeah, we were having breakfast, hungover from drinking and smoking weed the night before, and then we're like, what if she
My
flies
mother
away?
is in the audience.
What if she flies away and Michael throws rock at her? We're like, great!
I thought it was genius.
Yeah.
I
I was
thought
like,
she
yeah,
was
get
like-
me leaping. Did you get it? Did you get it? Like, we couldn't get
I
it
thought
up.
she was like getting attacked by a bear or something.
Yeah.
You don't see what I'm seeing.
You really
Just see
don't.
me throwing rocks.
But it was like an open ending for
Beach
like
bear.
kind of like a Crystal Fairy sequel where she takes revenge and she's like Godzilla or something.
Godzilla?
Or something.
It was different. It was very different.
Another question. Yeah, right here.
I was wondering if you could talk a bit about how you think about like a male director portraying the feminine body, and a bit about how you felt about the audience's reaction.
Portraying what?
The feminine body.
Oh, a male director portraying the feminine body. I mean, I'm not really turned on by tits or vaginas. I'm gay, so I'm like, oh yeah, God is naked. I don't care. And she doesn't care either. So nobody really seemed to care.
Nobody cares.
Nobody
Only you people
cares.
care.
Yeah. So I mean, like, in that sense, for me, it's like, it's not really a big deal. I would get more nervous if there is a naked man in the room.
You just literally covered your face.
Yeah, no, it's so embarrassing. No, really, I don't care. No, but yeah, I mean, to that question, like, for me, it felt really, really natural, and also, I'm not really into doing sex scenes. I just feel that sex scenes in movies are like really, like, why do we see that? Like, why do we need to see a sex scene in a movie? Like what's really a meaningful sex scene in a movie that you remember? Like maybe like Don't Look Now and Don't Look Now. Don't Look Now is pretty good.
But I have noticed that people are particularly taken by the nudity in this movie, and I think it's because it's not sexual. I think if I was getting fucked up against a wall, nobody would comment twice on the fact that you could see tits. But I think that it's because it's kind of comedic and a little ugly, and not people are struck by it. If it was sexual, nobody would think twice.
Yeah, it's just nudity, and like I feel that. I mean, I live in America. I'm not judging Americans, but I feel that boobs in America is like nuclear weapons are more accepted than boobs here. It's unbelievable. Everything's banned, and like boobs are crazy. Yeah, like it's not like that in South America. We're cool with boobs.
I was watching Hannibal the other day, which I'm weirdly addicted to, and they literally like, you see a man spliced open and his colon is like, and then you cut to somebody frying it up and eating it deliciously.
Yeah.
But you can't show tits.
Exactly. I mean, for me, it's so much more pornographic to see all of these like old action cracks like Bruce Willis and Sylvester Stallone, like in a poster with 4 weapons each, and like sweaty and like, that's porno for me. Like a bushy vagina is alright. That's Adam and Eve, you know. Like that's how it is.
More than anything, it's just like a congratulatory thing. I thought the movie was amazing, and I thought the sense of community and the nuances of like a collective to go out and partake in a sort of drug psychedelic experience, you completely nailed. Like there was a lot of stuff in there that really kind of I could react to really well. So I just wanted, it was just more of a congratulatory point.
You really like the movie?
Yeah, I really like the movie.
Thank you so much.
We were thinking over dinner that the LA audience wasn't that into it. But we're glad to hear that.
No,